Hi there. In this tutorial I'll be taking a look at the properties window of both characters and entities. So first off, I'm going to add a character into this small little level here. So I'm going to go over to the libraries panel on the left, go down to entities, and choose add new entity. You'll notice by default we have characters both in sci-fi and in World War II. I'm just going to choose a character from the sci-fi section here and press OK to add it into our library. Now you'll notice that this character is now following my cursor. I can left click to place the character down. I can press R to rotate the character, then left click to place it, and now right click to remove this character copy from my cursor. If I don't like where this character has been placed, I can hover over it, right click again to pick that copy up, move it to another spot, left click down again, and then right click to remove the copy. Now I'm still in entity editing mode, and if you're not, you can come up to your toolbar, click on the icon here, and come back down to your character and hover over it. You'll notice that there is a green circle now around the character. This means that you can right click to view its properties. I'm going to do so now. Now once the property window has loaded up, you'll see we have General, AI Scripts, Respawn, Optional Visuals, Statistics, Physics, and Sound. I'm going to be covering all of these, and on a few of them I'll switch between this character and I'll choose a wooden box. I'll add it to my level in a few minutes here, just so you can get the grasp of a couple different items more better than you would when we were looking directly at a character. So I'm going to start off with the General section here. In General we have Name. This is either a unique name or a duplicated name for the character. Currently, right now it is a unique name because there is only one character. If I were to add the exact same character into the game, this would make a duplicate name. For some triggers, say if you wanted to spawn an enemy at a certain time, and you only want to spawn one enemy, you'll have to come in here and change this name to something that is unique. If you want multiple enemies to spawn, you can leave the names the same, and then the one trigger will basically spawn multiple entities. Underneath that we have Static Mode. For Static Mode, currently it's set to No. This means that this entity is dynamic. If we were to set this to yes by clicking on this little button here, then have a drop down and then we click yes, this will set this entity or this character here to static mode. This basically means that this character or entity will become part of the scene. So basically it's becoming part of the static geometry. If you set it back to no, this means that it will be able to interact and run scripts like a main script or shoot at you, stuff like that. Now since we're talking about scripts, we're going to move on to AI scripts here. Currently we have a start script. It is set to appear 1. This is the script that gets run at the very first of your level. So right when your level loads up, this character here is going to run this appear 1 script. You can change this by clicking on the elliptical button, and once you'll get this file open dialog, you'll notice that we have appear 1 and appear 2 by default. You can change this depending on what kind of appearance you want. Appear 1 basically activates the entity or character, where appear 2 will not only activate the character or entity, it will slowly fade into the level. So I've selected appear 2 here. I'm going to say open to add it to the AI scripts under start. We also have a main script here. This main script acts like the brains for the entity. Basically this main script tells this entity, or this character for this instance, what to do throughout its lifespan. So currently it's set at strafe. So what this means is this character, while it's walking around, it will be able to strafe left and right. You can also change this by clicking on the elliptical button, and by default we have a people's directory which we can go into and choose from any number of these scripts. You can choose things like cautious, cover, coward, follow, basically any number of one of these. All you have to do is select one, then click on open, then we'll add it into your scripts. One thing you'll want to make sure of is when you add these scripts, make sure that the script that you add is actually used for a main script. There are ones like, if you see here at the bottom, if I move this over, we have shoot. We'll get to this in a second, but basically the difference between the main scripts and the shoot script is it determines what to do when the character is walking around, or what to do when the character sees yourself or the player or another enemy. So moving on, we have a destroy script. Currently it's at leave corpse. Again, you can change this by clicking the elliptical button, and then inside the script bank we have destroy, which you can choose any one of these scripts. So you can basically have a fade corpse, so where this character dies, he will be a corpse and then he'll fade away. Again, there is a number of scripts that you can choose from. You'll basically want to open each of these scripts in Notepad, and that script will give you a description on what the actual script does. So as you can see here, I'm opening keepalive.fpi, and you'll notice that underneath the header file there is description, and this will tell you basically what the script does. You should be able to understand from this description line whether or not you can use it as a starting script, main script, the story script, or a shoot script, which we'll get to in a few seconds. Underneath destroy script, we have has weapon. This property tells the game whether or not this character starts out with a weapon. You can change this by clicking on the button on the far right, and you can give him any weapon that you desire. Or you can click on the basically no weapon at the top here. So what this does is it creates this enemy or this character, but unfortunately he will not start out with a weapon. Underneath this, we have can take weapon. Currently it's set to yes. You can change this from yes to no through the drop down. What this property does is once this character dies, if I were to give him a weapon, say the Tommy gun, and set this to yes, once this enemy dies, me, the player, I can walk over his body and pick up his gun, so I can pick up the Tommy gun. If I were to set this to no, and the enemy died, even though I walked over the player or over this enemy like before, I am unable to pick up his gun because we told the game that the player cannot take his weapon. Underneath that we have take weapons ammo. It's currently set to 1. This means that when this character dies, his weapon will be laying on the floor, and this signifies how many ammo clips will be in that weapon. You can set this anywhere from 0 to a high number such as 99. Sometimes you may want to keep this as 1, but depending on how your weapon is, so say if you choose a shotgun, you may want to put this a little bit higher to say, I want 6 clips. Underneath that we have rate of fire. This can range anywhere from 0 to basically a high number such as 100. If you were to set this to 0, with this character here using a shotgun, this means that this character will basically have a steady stream of fire. If you were to set this to say, again, the default of 85 or 100, this means that this character may take a little longer to shoot and it may appear sporadic.